Bring in Heidi Przybyla. She is the senior political reporter for USA Today. Heidi, I got to tell you, she went after him very hard, went after his bankruptcies hard. She went after, the whole idea of him not revealing his taxes. Do you think the speech today was effective for Hillary Clinton?
It was effective in terms of the talking points that she's putting out there, kind of telling us specifically how she's going to go after his biggest strength, which is that he sells himself as a successful businessman who can do for the American people what he did for his companies. So she's trying to basically tear that apart point by point, going big after the argument about debt and how, using his own comments against him, how he basically bankrupted his casinos, how he has a number of defunct So she's basically trying to divorce the American people from his argument that he has some kind of special business talent that he can offer them to do for them what he did for himself.
And I found it interesting, Heidi, that she also went out there and she's putting her faults out there first, trying to say, okay, look, Donald Trump, he's going to go out there and he's going to woo Wall Street and do great things for Wall Street. And Donald Trump, she hit him on transparency. And you think, wait a minute, Hillary Clinton's getting money from Wall Street. Hillary Clinton's transparency is not exactly the best issue for her to be going after right now. It's interesting how she framed those against Trump.
I noticed that as well, and I noticed that she made that Wall Street argument very early in the speech, which immediately the light went off in my head. Okay, this is a preemptive strike, because Hillary Clinton knows very well that this was a weakness that Bernie Sanders very much used against her in the primary, and that Donald Trump was even picking up on at that point in terms of the Wall Street donations. She's a former New York senator. By definition, you're going to do a lot of business with Wall Street, and so this is something that I think she's trying to early out of the box turn back around on him, because she does see it as a potential problem area.
Yeah, it's interesting because, the polls show, look, Hillary Clinton is leading or very close to leading in a lot of these battleground states and in the nationwide poll. But you look at the one question where Donald Trump does well, and it's the question of who do you think would be better at leading the economy. Trump does better than Clinton, so this was an important moment for her.
It's an important moment, and tomorrow will be an important moment as well, because the campaign knows it's not going to be enough to just beat up on Trump. She does have a lot of proposals that she's put out, but one of the critiques within her own circle of advisors and friends has been that she needs to have a broader economic narrative to tie that all together, something compelling, because, one of the things the campaign's most concerned about is that a lot of these more, middle and lower income Americans are very intrigued by Donald Trump and what he might be able to do for them on the economic matters.
She had no specifics at all today, so I'm assuming we'll hear more of that tomorrow, but there was nothing about how you're going to create jobs and how you're going to, lift wages and the rest of it.
Well, that was strategic, because she has put a lot out there in terms of her $10 billion plan on manufacturing, in terms of clean energy jobs. She has a big infrastructure proposal. But this is the time that I think tomorrow is going to be, the reason why tomorrow is going to be so interesting, because this is the time when voters really need to start looking under the hood here on both of these candidates. This is such an important election. There's so many people who are struggling out there, either underemployed or unemployed, and they really need to look at the specifics of what they're being offered here and not just the rhetoric. And so far, that has not been the dialogue that we're having.
I got to go, Heidi, but I got to get your take on what did you think about the Trump rapid blasting the retweets and going after her during the speech? It's a new tactic for his campaign, right?
It's a new tactic, and who knows if it was related, but it's really fascinating that it happened on the same day that they kicked Corey Lewandowski to the curb, and new management is in town. This has been one of the concerns that a lot of people in Trump world have had all along, that you can't use the same fighting tactics that you used in the primary in the general, and that a lot of the attacks that Hillary Clinton was landing on him, the punches that she was landing, including that blistering foreign policy speech, were going unanswered. And today we saw a big shift in that approach.
Fighting right back. There's a new sheriff in town, Heidi Przybyla, USA Today. Good to see you. Thank you.